That boy is Benny Hanna.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I want y'all to speak. It's been forever, and I am mad excited about what's happening. Listen, it's been a long time. This pandemic has been hitting a lot of us hard. What's up, Trey? I see you, boy. This pandemic has been hitting a lot of us hard, but we still here. We still grinding. We still doing. And sometimes, dude, you just got to be grateful for life and strength and all the above. So listen, I'm excited that we're here. We got a hell of a show tonight on the Iron Man podcast. I'm excited. We have one of my friends, one of my brothers. I love this dude. He's smart. He's intelligent. And he's a businessman. He's about getting that paper at the end of the day. So, what's up? Hey, if you on, show some love. I see you guys in the room. Y'all showing mad love. Yo, it's happening, man. I Am Man podcast. We're about to go live, about to get started. Yo, it's crazy out here, man. At tonight's show, man, we're going to talk about just the mental state of black men in America, or men of color in America, with everything that's going on. Yo, did you guys hear about what happened to our boy Nick Cannon? Yo, crazy. They just Viacom, they let him go for telling the truth. Yo, isn't it funny that your truth offends people, and when your truth offends people, they'll cut you off? Yo, it's mad. It's crazy. It's crazy. I see you guys. I see you, Jocelyn. Hey, shout out, girl. Say something. If you watching, don't just be a spectator. Be a participator. We in this joint tonight, and I'm excited. My kids are asleep. My wife is in the other room, and we in here, man. Yo, I see you guys in here. Y'all showing mad love. Y'all piling in the room. We're about to get this conversation cracking and started. Once again, this is the I Am Man podcast. This is your boy, Robert Marshall, and I am excited to be with y'all tonight. We come on at 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, because this is when grown folks are up. This is when we talk about real life issues with real people that live that with real problems and who are looking for solutions. Yo, I'm excited. So, without further ado, I want to introduce to you guys the guy that's joining us tonight. His name is Coy Brown. Listen, remember that name. Hashtag Coy Brown. He's an author. He's an inspiration guru. He's a business mogul. He out here making moves. And sorry, ladies, he's engaged. He's about to be married, so she'll cut you, yo. I'm excited that we're here, yo. Coy. What's up, man? Welcome to the Iron Man podcast, dude. I've been trying to get you on for a long time, man.
Man, it's been a minute, but I'm excited, man. I'm excited to get on your show, get excited on your podcast, and just get some light, man. Really about what's going on and how can we get better. So, man, life is good.
Dude, it's crazy out here, man. I was just talking to the people out here about what's happened with Nick Cannon. Did you read that? Like, dude, yeah. They Viacom got rid of him because he told the truth on his podcast,
yo. When I seen it, right, I'm on my phone going through Twitter, and I'm scrolling, right? I go through Twitter just throughout my day. And I'm looking through the perspective, right, what people are saying. And for me, I don't blame them. Like, I don't see no hate. I think, as you said, I think it's good to have your truth. And because someone is speaking truth, then yes, it may offend a few people. But if it's the pudding's there, there's no one to be mad about yourself because you don't have the truth. You're not really gaining the real evidence. And for Nick, he spoke his truth.
Dude, I think, but isn't it crazy? Do you, man? And I'm gonna just speak this, and I'm not just talking about black men, but men of color in general. Do you know that even for Latino Americans, it's illegal for them to learn their history in certain states? That blew my mind. Like, it's illegal to teach it. It's flat out illegal to teach it. Like black people, we don't have so much. We don't have but much stuff anyway in the world of education. You know, they talk about. I remember growing up, all we learned about in Black history was Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, and the Civil War. And it's almost like black people did not exist until never. Like we never contributed anything into, you know, the world, America. Everything was Eurocentric. I just remember, you know, Christopher Columbus, 1492. Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Yo, and it was like black people, people of color made no contributions to the world, and that is the farthest from the truth. That is the farthest from the truth, man.
Yep. It's crazy. Like you said, I think a lot of us, when we were growing up, it was just kind of bypassed. You know, you went from Abraham Lincoln to Christopher Columbus, Eurocentric history that we thought was our history, and never really gained any access, right? No permission to what's really laying behind the door, right? We never opened that closet, and because of that, you know, a lot of people, even myself including that time, are walking blindly, right? Not really knowing, you know, the true history. Dude, and being set up for failure.
It's crazy. And when you don't know who you are, you're bound to repeat the same mistakes over. When you don't know who you are, you're bound to you're at the liberties of people defining who you are. And so, man, this is why I created this platform in the first place, because this is a place where all men's stories are heard, regardless of where they're from, what their background is. Yo, we're in here. This is a place where men can just be men, and it's okay for it to happen. And ladies, if you're listening tonight, yo, take your pencil, get your pens, get your iPad, and take some notes so you can understand how men think, what our world. I think, man, I think there's women all around the world have different places to go, but there's rarely any outlet for men to decompress or for men to kind of get in a healthy headspace, man. So I'm curious to know, man, how with all that you do, you know, and we'll get into you, like, you know, we know that you're in business, you're inspiration to many. You know, you have an amazing little girl, right? Little girl, right? So what do you do to decompress? How do you decompress?
Well, look, I'll be completely honest with you and those who are listening. For me, sometimes it's even hard for me to decompress and to really rationalize and get my thoughts out. You know, I'm someone who doesn't really want to talk about my feelings, right? And there's some childhood memories and traumas of why I don't want to bring it out, right? Which we're talking about being vulnerable, being men of color, to be open, right? Not seem weak. So for me, the best thing I do is I write things down. And granted, I'm blessed. My fiance is a therapist, so if I can't do it, she can help me. You feel me?
Does she ever try to teach you?
Yeah. So I get the help. You know, for if I can't see my own thoughts clearly, she can break it down in a perspective that I'm not seeing from a higher perspective. But you know, with everything going on, you know, for me, it's like I'm sitting at a table and I just kind of look at different viewpoints. I'm observing, right? I'm observing, just kind of looking at it, and you know, for me, it's just I digest it, but I cipher through what's really important, what's really the cause. And when I get kind of struck with something or go through my feelings, you know, like I said, for me, it's listening of what is the real pain in my voice or in that consciousness that I'm really speaking. What's that real pain? And that's where I analyze. That's where I chop it up. I said, this is what it is. And write it out.
Yo, it's so crazy. It's so crazy, man, out here. Not just we're talking about, guys, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about in my fields. We're talking about the emotional state, the mental state of men of color in America. And it's crazy. I was just watching not only Nick Cannon, but my boy Will Smith, fam. Yo, I was just watching Will Smith. I'm like, dang, man. Jada just sat up there and said, yo, I got in an entanglement.
Yeah.
Yo, dude. An entanglement. Like, I'm sitting here like, and Will Will wasn't going. Will was
Yeah, he's
like,
like, what?
entanglement?
Yeah.
What? That's dude. So have you ever been in entanglements, Coy? What would that look like in Coy's world?
Man, as I think about your question, I've never been in an entanglement.
Uh,
I really haven't. And I guess I would maybe not even call it an entanglement, but I've never been in a situation where I got that sticky. And I'm saying to Will and Jada, there's something where it's like there's a three piece, right? Like a triangle. And it's open, supposedly, right? It's been open. Um, that just takes, that's a lot. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of just a lot that you got to deal with. And I've never been in that position, thank God.
Yo, it's crazy. So I brought that up because I look at, as I saw Will Smith sit at that red table,
Yeah,
like
it's fake.
I'm looking at his face. And even though he's like, yo, I'm here to support you, I'm here, I'm here. We bad marriage for life, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Bad marriage for life. And he's like, I'm in it to win it for life, even if our marriage sucks. But
Yeah.
his countenance was like he was broken. He was embarrassed. He was torn, but he's yet trying to exude the strength that he's good. And I just wonder how many brothers out there whose hearts have been broken, whose mental state is kind of all over the place due to the pandemic, the loss of jobs, the loss of opportunities, racism, prejudice, lack of a whole bunch of stuff. Dude, it's like, how much can a man take? How much can he take? And I wonder, how do you speak to men who have locked themselves out of their own emotions, and when they're asked, "How are you?" and they're like, "I'm good."
Yeah,
How do you speak to
we all say that, right? We all say we're good. To the first question, the first part of it, for me, when I'm talking with anybody, whether it's a man or a woman, especially men, right? We got this tough persona. We got to be tough. We got to be macho, right? Like no, I would say, for lack of a better term, no pussies around here, right?
Okay.
You can't be weak. And for me, I just want to get on their level, like, because I understand I had childhood traumas. Like, I was one of the kids that was very confident, very driven, right? A single mother. So like, I wanted that comfortability to be open. So when I see someone who's locked up, right, they got the door shut. Me and my fiance, we were just talking. Those little Swedish little mannequin things.
Yeah.
As you pull them off, right, the layers get smaller. Like, when they got that big layer on, like, I want to talk to them and say, what's really going on? Why are we so, why are we so locked up? And for many people, there's a lot of reasons, right? Whether it's, life, relationships, pandemic, things going on, job. But just to get and relate to them, I think that's the first gate to get them open, to bring the energy down so they feel relaxed, to get those emotions open. And for people that don't want to open emotions, I can raise my hand because I do the same thing. And because I know that, I also know when you say, how you doing? You're like, oh, I'm good. I'm Gucci. Like, life is good. But it's like, what's really behind that? Because I can say that and I can be positive, right? Inspirational speaker, whatever it is. Me and the fiance are doing good. But like, what's the real truth behind real doors, right? We got this persona, this mask, this acting stage. But when you go back home, you're broken. So, if I guess in essence, it's just really getting to them and finding those pinpoints of how can we get you open? How can we crack this door and make it comfortable for you? Because once you're comfortable, they're comfortable. The gate starts open.
Dude, it's crazy. So I know for me, I balance so much. And
Yep.
dude, I would encourage every man to get a hobby, get something. Like, sometimes as men, you need a space just to breathe, because I believe, bro, that men are really emotionally underdeveloped in a lot of ways, because and I think it starts as early as adolescence, when we're told boys don't cry, you're a big boy, you don't do that, we don't. And what happens is that,
Yep.
that we learn really quick how to shut down our emotions in order
Yes.
so that we can be a big boy, or that because
Yep.
we are boys, and there is this hyper toxic masculine persona that we're forced to put on at
Yep.
a young age, and we then become emotionally underdeveloped. And let me just put this out here for some of the ladies. The reason why your man may not he doesn't communicate well, he may not talk to you, he may not that's because he may not share his emotions, is because we've never been allowed to do that. And
Yeah.
most women who, they're emotional, and yeah, I said it. Most women, they're emotional and they want to talk and they want to, and men, we have not been given the liberty, the
Mm.
freedom to truly express how we feel. So it's almost, when somebody asks, how are you? How do you feel? It's almost second nature just to be
Hmm.
like, hey, shrug it off. I'm good. Even though, people are about, men, especially men of color, feel like they are at the lowest end of the totem pole. And man, we're going to start talking about depression in some of our other series, and I'm
Yep.
realizing, man, that so many men, and especially men of color, are victims of depression. And I use the term victim because they are their tails are being whooped by depression, by anxiety, and because they've never been given the chance to express how they feel, what they
Hmm.
feel, then they get locked up within themselves, and you wonder why people go crazy. You wonder why
Yep.
people just pop off. And I'm a firm believer, bro. It didn't just start there. Like,
Nah.
it's I think it's a trail. And if we don't give men the opportunity to fully express who they are, man, then we see them pop off and we're like, yo, where'd this come from? And it's
Hmm.
like, no, there's signs. There's signs, man. Um, there's signs. And I was talking about underdeveloped men not given a chance to really develop emotionally. The only emotions that most men are allowed to feel is really anger. That's the one that they're really able to express, man. And so, you kind of going through traumas in your life, man. How have you learned to in a healthy manner express what's going on with you? Give us some tools.
Man, a healthy way to really, let me step back because I think the first thing is finding hobbies. And
Yeah.
as I looked at my process, reading, working out, going for a walk, listening to music, whatever it is, a hobby. It could be fishing, something to do outside the house or even at the house as well, has been something to help me navigate that journey to becoming emotionally developed. Because I'll admit it now, my fiance is very emotionally developed. Her emotional intelligence is way more advanced than I am. As you're speaking, emotionally, I've never really developed that, right? Over these past years, I have, right? So that's where, for men, you got to have an outlet to really exhaust that. But, for me, in ways that I'm doing that, right, to kind of, I would say, cope or open, is really acknowledging it. I think with any person, including myself, someone who's headstrong, positive, I suppress a lot of those emotions. I've never even had a space to even to whether someone like yourself to accept that and nurture that, or myself to even want to look at that and be honest with that about what are these emotions that other than just anger, right? Having um I would say a capacity to quote unquote, I would say feel, I'm gonna say weak, but really not weak, just feel me without any societal labels of being not a man, quote unquote. So for me, it's acknowledging it. Like I got to be honest and look at it straight in the face, and then from that, uh, for me, it's verbalizing. Like I know I'm gonna give you some tools. Right, everyone does everything different, but for me, it's I gotta verbalize it. Whether it's with my woman or me just saying it out loud, me getting off my chest, me writing it out. Because if not, knowing me, knowing who I am, I'll hold on to it and I'll downplay it, and that makes what we're talking about, even worse, of not having a space to be vulnerable, not to be a man with what things are going on. So, like I said, for me, it's acknowledging it, it's writing it out, and then if I have to, I'll share with somebody, whether it's my fiance or friend. It could be a therapist. You know, good people got therapists. People that are therapists got therapists. So sharing with the
Yo,
therapist.
I definitely got a therapist.
Same. I
I
got a
might
therapist too.
need to have two of them joints.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. One in the morning and one at night. So for
Hey,
me,
dude, I'm telling you.
it's having a therapist, man, and speaking it out. That's probably been the best thing I've done to really heighten who I am emotionally and be okay
You
with
know,
that, like really sitting in it.
you know what's crazy, man? As you were talking, I'm realizing therapy is good, and because most men, and especially men of color, we don't go see therapists. That's not what we
Nah,
do. We
nope.
we we we. That's, I remember they would say that's what white people do. White people go to therapists. We don't go to no therapist. And so
Right.
what happens is we wind up self medicating, dude.
Yep.
And this is a huge section. We're about to go here, and I wonder, you know, and not I wonder, I know, you know, some of the things that men do to self medicate their mental, their emotional
Mm-hmm.
instability, man, dude. So everything from, I don't know, this is the Iron Man podcast, so let's keep it 100. Like,
Right.
so bro, what are some of the if you've ever self-medicated, what, before you started this journey to wholeness and to healing, what are some of the things that you maybe have done to self-medicate some of the pain or the trauma that you dealt with growing up?
Oh man. I would say nothing harmful, right? When you say self medication, right, to medicate yourself, nothing harmful.
Well,
Um,
I'll do this. I'll
yeah, go
answer
ahead.
this question. Let me. So for me, and a lot of men. Oh, what's up, Chuck? We see you out here, boy.
What's up,
Uh,
Chuck? What's up?
so so for me, self-medicating looked like, man, one, I was a people pleaser, man. I tried to please people in any way, form, fashion. It didn't matter.
Yep.
Another way that men self-medicate is sex. Yo, like,
Yeah.
and I had to start, you know, we wonder why a lot, and especially in various communities, that you have men that have multiple baby mamas, multiple children. And I think it's not because they just, oh, I want to have multiple kids. That's their way of
That's the
dealing
behavior.
with life.
Yeah.
That when
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
feel me, that, you know,
Yep.
and I've talked to so many brothers who is like, you know, when they smash, it's like they can go somewhere else. It's like they go somewhere else, and it's physical. It's simple. It's not.
Yeah.
They don't have to, you know, deal with their emotions. They got the person that they with. They're smashing, and then when they get their release, they're done. And it's
Yeah.
like
It's a
the
high.
pressure it's a high, and once they get their release, they good, and they're
Mm-hmm.
always trying to. And there's research that proves that when a man releases sexually, that it's all these endorphins. It's almost like it's a high, for real, for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah. Like I see. Yeah.
So
You reach. Yep.
so that dude is out here having multiple children, because not because he wants to have multiple children, but because he's trying to medicate his emotions and what he feels,
Correct. Correct.
dude. So I think for me, people pleasing, I think for me was, man, definitely at one point in time in my life was definitely porn, trying to self-medicate because of feeling inadequate in certain different ways. And it's not always hard. Some men turn to drugs, some people turn to different hobbies, dude. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring that question back to you again. Like, what before you became, or before you started this journey to wholeness, what are some unhealthy, let's say it like this, what are some unhealthy habits you had to check once you started your journey to wholeness?
I mean, now that you've explained it, definitely was sex, and porn. It was people pleasing. I'm a people pleaser by nature, but doing that was a way to get that out, right? To feel good and deal with it. that a way that I couldn't hold it in, right? And that's where you see that these behaviors that people are acting out, violence, whatever it is, sexual behaviors. And for me, those are really those three things that in those moments, like you said, the endorphins or the feel good at that moment, it's like, ooh, okay, I feel good, right? Like a drug addict. There was that chemical imbalance where I needed just that little top off, and I'm good. And I get back to normal, right?
Yeah,
And
man.
that was those three things were really heavy. For me to get back to normal and looking at it like, man, like these vices that, to get you to become whole, that's what you got to get rid of.
Dude,
or, understand.
it's crazy, man. And so, man, as we kind of dealt with and look at, what's going on with racism, prejudice, man, George Floyd, man, there's so many names of men who have died at the hands of police. And to be honest, bro, I still have not watched the entire video of George Floyd because, dude, I just can't bring myself to watch another video of another black man dying at the hands of a police officer, a white dude, man, a mob Aubrey, like the list goes on. And man, I'm getting to the point, and one of the reasons why I didn't do podcasts because I wasn't in a good mind frame. I couldn't handle that. So man, how do you handle it? What is your process? What do you do? Yeah, man, talk to us.
I feel you. First off, all the condolences go out obviously to all those families. That's happened, and that has recently happened as well. Once again, when I look at all this, my first thing is why, and I'm thinking, wow, like really, like this had to happen. And then it's just like I look at it and I'm just analyzing like, is human behavior really this way? So I look at it very from an intellectual, very mental level. But for me, in what I've been doing really in my community is how can I give back, right? How can I kind of play my role? I know I'm not going to maybe make a huge change, but I can make a little ripple, right? I can make a little change. So it's promoting, right? It's promoting Black Lives Matter or any victim, whether it's Black or Hispanic, anyone of men, it's promoting that, look, we need help as well, right? And I'm not disregarding all the females, women that are on here that obviously been, tragically killed by police brutality or any other nature, but, the high rate of men, being killed, being, on video, that can take a toll on a young child's life, on his mental. To see that systematically in an animalistic way being killed. So for me, it's like, how can I give back? Whether I'm sharing something, I'm voicing my opinion and helping the community, doing any drives that we just did. I just did one about two and a half weeks ago for the Latino company based community in the West Side here in South Bend. So for me, it's just like, how can I give back to make me feel a part in some way to create a cause? And mentally, it's really sad. I think back and just think, how did we get to this? How did we get here? Right, there's a cause, but for me, it's just digesting it and saying, how can we move forward? How can we change this?
Yeah, man. The truth is, man, and I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, I am pissed off, man. I think I'm pissed off and I'm hurt. And I am, because it's like, dang, man, it's 2020. Like,
yeah, man.
Like, this is not the 1950s. This is not the 1400s. It's 2020, and I'm mad. I'm mad. I'm at times I'm hurt. At times I'm just, hell, I don't know what to do at times. And I'm just like, when I look at my children, when I look at my boys, when I look at my girl, I'm like, how in the world do you protect them? How in the world do you and it's crazy. So I want to ask everybody who's watching, like, where are you? Like, how do you cope? What have you been doing healthily process where you are. I want y'all to comment in this comment section so that I can see what are you doing? What are you doing to kind of really help yourself be the best version of yourself? Man, I get so upset and I get moved, and I mentor a lot of Black and Latino young men, man, and they're hopeless out here, man. Not and it's crazy. Like, I understand what went on in the civil rights movement in the 50s, the 40s, the 50s and 60s, but bro, it's taking a whole new, like, just front, bruh. And I think a lot of men and a lot of young men, especially those who don't have fathers, who don't have direction, and I'm who don't have fathers, who don't have anybody to bring stability to their life, they're resulting to violence. And I believe, and I can't remember who said it, but I believe Martin Luther King said, "Violence is the language of the unheard."
Exactly.
And dude, people are unheard. People have been unheard, and they're tired of it. And you know, for me, I grew up in church, so I have a little, I got a little decorum. There's certain things I just won't say and do. But this next generation, bruh. They're not playing games, bro. So how do we speak to the next generation? How do we come up? Because you said we got to come up with solutions. What are some of the solutions, man? And I think before you answer that, I think that some of the solutions have to start internally first. I think they have to start internally first. So how would you speak to it?
Yeah, I had actually a conversation a few weeks back about this. Like, COVID hit, police brutality, Black men, it's angry, it's frustrating. And throughout this topic, and to your point, the first thing that's changed, I think the mental landscape of humanity has to change. Even for people of color has to change. Like, that's where the change has to happen first. Because we got to change as people. Secondly, a solution, I think the school system. There's got to be a new change, whether that's all through students, that's through through your higher ed, your admins. It's a whole new, like, let's pull the rug and get either new people or a new system in to really be tackling the issue of Black people, Latinos. It don't matter. People of color's real history, right? Not no brainwashed kind of sugar-coated history. You really got to change the platform of education system on, people of color's history. And also, we're still another level behind that, whether that's getting new people in. And I'm not talking whether you're Republican or Democrat, but getting new people maybe in the office, and two, continue still doing your community engagements in your board meetings, in gatherings where you can voice these opinions, talk about bills, talk about things that want to be passed and what needs to be changed. And I told people too, people have been doing that for a minute, like, not just because people got killed, now we want to do it. Like, people have been doing it. So continue to do that. We got to hit on all cylinders, whether it's education, whether it's reprogramming of who you really are, and changing the landscape or the horizon of what's really happening. And then also too, stay engaged on the field, in the field, with making things happen and bringing the voice alive as a collective, to really bring some waves to the people that really need to hear it.
Yeah, I feel you on that, bro. I rocks with that. I appreciate that. As I started thinking about Nick Cannon and his situation that we were talking about earlier, I think another thing is, bro, we got to get out here and start making this money and creating our own stuff. Man, it's crazy. Nick Cannon I think is one of the most talented people out here. And because he told the truth about his history, about Black people's history, he basically lost all of his major endorsements. But what I loved was when Diddy said, "Yo, come over here to revolt." And I'm like, hey. And I want to take this moment And I want to talk to every man, every woman that's listening here, man. You have a gift, you have a talent, you were created for something bigger than yourself. Listen, you got to get out of that doubt, get out of that fear, get out of that rejection, get out of that limitless, that limited, that box that you have placed yourself in. Because, and I don't mean to preach, but I got to take this moment because you were created for something bigger, and you're sitting over here doubting yourself, don't think you have what it takes, and people over here looking at you scared of you because they see your potential. Yo, wake up. If y'all should be flooding this timeline right now, because some of you got businesses in you, you have books in you, you got radio stations in you, you got media companies in you, and you're sitting there comfortable working for somebody for 9 to 5. Bruh, sis, get out there, make your money, do your thing, build it. So, what do you gotta say to that, bro?
Man, everything you just said is true, because I think a lot of us, and I'm glad you brought that onto the air too for people to listen. There are so many ideas and gifts and blessings and so much creativity in people of all ages, all color, that, man, if you really just stepped out, like, you got it, right? All the brothers, all the sisters, it doesn't matter what you're doing, like 9 to 5, whatever it is. There are so many books, ideas, businesses, things that you can create. And if you just for an ounce believe in yourself, and I'm talking about real belief, right? As you know, you got to step out. It's scary, right? You're gonna fumble, you're gonna fall, you might lose some money. But if you can hold the vision and see what's really there, there's a livingness in you that is indestructible, and you can continue to pour into that, and that thing will pour into you. And if you walk, with your eyes wide open, ooh, I see you. You know what I mean?
I see you, boy. You gotta say that again, dude. That was that. I'm gonna steal that. Say that again. That's what inside you, bro. I'm gonna say that again.
There's a livingness. There's a livingness, a life force, a life power, a forming power. That, man, if you can tap into the correspondence, and even just understand it from a I would say from an amateur level, right? Man, the gates open. Like, it's real. Like, it's not some pie in the sky. Like, man, those who are listening, really tap into your potential and really take the time to figure out who you are. And when it opens, keep rolling.
Listen, yo, it's that dude. That you know what? You know what? There we, you know you gotta do. Yo, I had to put that out there, yo. Okay. That was church right there, boy. Yo, that was church, man. Like, dude, yeah, man. So, man, I want to talk, man, to you, my brothers, sisters. Like, yo, you got this. Yeah. You got this. I think that what Diddy did, I knew it was always important for people of color to own and do things. But dude, when he said, I see you, Cindy, I see you, girl. When he said, yo, when you done over there with them, yo, come over to Revolt. And that's power, man. That's what I'm talking. That's the power that we need. We tapping and not waiting for somebody to give us an opportunity, for somebody to open up a door, but to create your door. Kick that damn door down and create your own platform. Get your stuff. You know what? Oh man, so many of us have dreams and aspirations that we're sitting on because we are afraid. And I'm like, yo, get up. I don't care if you don't have the education, if you don't have the connections, if you don't feel like you have the smarts. Guess what? Who cares? People are out here changing the world with no money. People are out here making impacts in the world, and they don't have an education. They don't have anything. And some of y'all have more degrees than a thermometer, and you're sitting there doing nothing. Like, fam, get up. Yep. Get up And so anyway, I'm gonna get off of that box.
Hey,
But
keep it
man,
rolling.
Coy, man, what is one thing that you want to leave the people who are listening to us today or listening to us tonight? We've talked about a lot. We've covered a lot.
Yep.
But kind of what is a mantra that you live by that kind of helps you progress through challenges, hard times, and especially when you're in your fields?
Mm. Well, I want to hit your first question. What I want to leave people with, and the biggest thing I think, in the most honest and real thing behind all the inspiration, right, behind all the glittery stuff, right, like when I look back on things, and even now, for men and even for women, like it's okay to be vulnerable. And I'm really getting at the essence of that. Like I had to learn that the hard way, and I'm still learning. Like it's okay to be vulnerable. Like strip away all the titles. Like you look good, right? Body's right. Like Instagram is popping, right? Facebook's getting a million likes, right? You have to family barbecue. Like behind all of that, like it's okay to be raw. It's okay to be you. If you gotta cry, if you gotta reach out to somebody, like someone's listening and may be thinking you may think your life is great on the outside, but inside that thing is falling. And what I want to leave you with is just be open. Like give yourself a chance, give yourself permission, right, to be and to make a change that will, alter your life forever, permanently, right? Give yourself permission to be seen. That's the biggest thing. So that's what I want to answer on the first part. Um, but kind of my mantra to life, to your second question, I really, my mantra is just, I would look at altruistic love. Like I look at things like all is good, like all is good. No matter what I'm going through, man, I may got $20 in my bank account. I may about to be kicked out, evicted. I may be going through some rough times, arguing with people in my family, or things are just not going right. I really believe all will be good. Like it'll all will be good. I'm a trailblazer, so as I move forward, things will make way. It's not gonna be like this all the time, and I may be down on my knees, but it's gonna be good. So, if you can look at life that way, that you can harvest the good, look at what's coming. Your day and your time will come. Not when you want it to, right? Remember that, not when you want it to, but when it's needed and when you're ready.
Yo, that was straight fire. In church, we would say it like this. Uh, we would say, all
Okay.
things work together for the
Yeah.
good of those. Yo,
Yep. Come
I'm
on
just
now.
letting you
Come on
know
now.
it's gonna work together, fam. So
Yeah.
man, I don't, bro. You may be struggling right now. You may be dealing with crap right now. You just keep on living, keep on saying good morning, and if you keep grinding and you don't give up, you'll make it, bro. You will make it through whatever life throws at you, fam. Dude, I'm such a big fan of yours, Coy. I love the work that you do.
Thank you,
Yo,
bro.
tell us about your business. Tell us where we can find you. Tell us
Yep.
what you do, man.
Yeah, yeah. So for you guys just hopping on, or you guys don't know who I am, my name is Coy Brown. I'm originally from Elkhart, Indiana, which is right down the street from South Bend. So if you
I
guys
live there.
if you're in the Chicago area, South Bend's not too far. But I do public speaking, writing. I do a lot of community engagement. So you can find me at coybrown.com. Also Coy_Brown on my Instagram. And also email is you deserve to win at gmail.com. But for me, what I love, what I'm doing, is really helping people. I think for a lot of people, I would say even for myself, a lot of people, is giving people and showing people there is more inside them than there is outside of them, and inspiring them to get over that hurdle, right? And if they can understand themselves, right, and start to study themselves with these life principles, whether it's church, right, from a biblical standpoint or an academic point, or whatever the other perspective is, when you see more in yourself and start to study the behavior and the understanding psychologically, spiritually, mentally, right, that trilogy of it, you really start to see, what I said, livingness that has always been there, right? That it's been laying dormant because we can't really see because the veil is always there. So we can release that veil, all hell breaks loose and you fly to the moon. So that's what I love, what I've been doing. I do poetry as well. So I have a book that, is done. It's in the works. I gotta reach out to Rob for the one-man band to get me right. And then I got my book, Steps Worth Taking, which is a self-help book. It's about 21 steps of how to live a better life. It's really positivity plus action. And for the reader, I want you to not only read a chapter, but also implement this into your life in a very simplistic but effective way.
So where's that book at? It's on Amazon?
No, it's going to be on Amazon soon. That's why I got to reach out to you. It's all done. It's all done.
Okay. I got
to
you,
reach
man.
out to the plug. I got to get the plug.
Dude, I got you, fam. But while we're out here, I'm a big fan of Coy, for real. It's all love, no show. But while he's plugging books, I want to tell you guys, hey, listen, I want to tell you guys about my new book. It's called What Every Man Needs to Know. This is a book that was co-authored by myself, Darnell Weathersby, and Stephen Donahue. We got together, and all of us, man, believe it or not, have over 40 years of combined experience in education, sociology, mental health, and ministry. So listen, this is a book entitled What Every Man Needs to Know. Listen, ladies, if you have a man in your life, you need to get him this book. If you love him, get him the book. If you can't stand him, get him the book. If you pissed off at him right now, get him this book. It's called What Every Man Needs to Know. The website is at the bottom of the screen. It's www.whateverymanneedstoknow. And we talk about core truths that every man that every man needs to know to become the best version of himself. This is a one size fits all. This is a book for men, written by men. So, get this book. Listen, man. I'm excited that you were able to join me, Coy.
Yes, sir.
I'm a big fan. I love your work. I love what you do. And I'm excited. We got to have you back, man. Because it's almost been a year.
Hey,
boy, it's been an honor.
Come on,
it's almost been a year.
We can hop on. We can run a redo.
Dude, we can have a redo. We got to talk about partnership because, actually, so I'm going to put Coy on the spot. We had him to do an event, and bro, Coy canceled on me. I felt like, I was like, I felt like, I was a small dude. I was like, this big dude canceled on me, man. But you here today, You here.
Yep. Yeah, it's all timing, baby.
Good, man. So listen, everybody, thank you. This is the I Am Man podcast where every man's story is heard. Listen, if you loved it, share it. If you liked it, like it, and let every man know that they are important, that they need to be seen, that they deserve to be heard. And take time to get to know them. Listen, we love you guys. Peace out.